Yes, they look and sound like professionals, and when they graduate from high school, yes, high school, they likely will be. That's the purpose of this television production program being taught at Mount Olive High School, and as you can see, they've got all the bells and whistles, and they've apparently honed their talent as well. Welcome back to 12 in Our Schools. I'm Brian Jenkins. Over the last decade, schools have been working earnestly to bring more hands-on teaching of actual job skills earlier into student development. Well, television production is one of those areas, and kids have embraced it. Here to share more about their program is a man who teaches television production at Mount Olive High School, Chris Pramel. And before we get into the discussion, Chris, let's take a look at your morning newscast.
MO Idol will be on Wednesday, January 19th at 7 p.m. at the high school PAC. Come out for a night of entertainment and fun.
There will be a girls' softball meeting Wednesday, January 12th in room B127 during the first part of lunch. Any girl interested in playing softball this spring should plan on attending the meeting. There will be an FEA meeting today during lunch in B250. All members should attend.
So Kayla, how much did you enjoy all the snow this weekend?
Not really at all.
Well, for me, I made an igloo, a snowman, I made some snow angels. It was a pretty action-packed weekend for me.
Right. Well, why don't we check out the weather with Christian? So Christian, what does this week's weather look like?
Today will be partly sunny with a high of 31, and tomorrow is going to be cloudy early in the day with a few snow showers developing later on in the day with a high of 32.
All right, Christian might need a cup of coffee there, but otherwise, they're looking pretty good. Chris, what do you think? Are they ready for prime time yet?
They're getting there.
It's an interesting program, though. This is something that I guess started about 9 years ago, right?
Yes, it did.
You've been there for a year. Give me a sense of the level of embrace that you've gotten from students.
Students love the program. It's really exploded in the past year and a half since I showed up, and the kids are loving it even more. We're getting as much equipment as possible, giving them a real-world feel, professional broadcast. We launched 2 cable channels out of our high school studio, which really just changed the game and made everything a whole professional world in our studio.
Yeah, I understand MSG Varsity is one of the channels that you guys feed into.
Yeah, we have a contract with MSG Varsity, and we submit content to them, which we air on their website and also on their on-demand channel.
Wow, that's a lot of exposure for these kids, and I would imagine it brings a certain level of responsibility for them to, know the craft.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, each contact we make with MSG Varsity, FiOS, Cablevision, all the companies that we're affiliated with are giving that level of professionalism to the students and that real-world feel, so they'll be ready for the industry or college when they get out of high school.
In conversations that you have with either administrators or the cable folks, are you getting a sense that they are pushing more to get young people involved, or is this something that you guys pushed on the part of the school and said, hey, let us do this?
A little bit of both. We do have outreach programs from the companies themselves, but our program is looking to grow and expand as much as possible, so we're reaching out to as many people as possible and trying to get our students out there and get them prepared for the industry.
Yeah, guys like me are dinosaurs now in this industry because they're looking for young people who can not just do television, but you've got an online component, webcasts, all kinds of things with the new technology, and I would imagine that's something that kids really have to get into as well.
Yeah, media is everywhere now. I mean, it's incorporated into all the other subjects in school, every day in life, no matter what career you're in, if it's TV or not. So, I mean, they really have to step their game up. If they want to be in the TV industry, they've got to do something different and really have to get everything polished out before they get to a college level.
All right, well, we're going to talk to some of those in just a minute. We'll take a break. Straight ahead, students from the Mount Olive High School on air. Stay with us. 12 in Our Schools returns right after the break. Thanks for staying with us here on 12 in Our Schools. With us now are some of the students from Mount Olive High we've been talking about who are trying to take my job. Carolyn Blackburn is a senior. She'll be attending Syracuse next year. And Harrison Richland is also a senior who will be attending Emerson next year. Thank you both for joining us. We should say, too, Harrison won the writing category of the MSG Varsity Awards last year, earning a $5,000 grant for the Mount Olive studio. So hats off to you, young
Thank
man.
you.
Doing a great job. Let me ask you both, how long has it been since you decided this is something I want to do? Or was it something that you just said, oh, let me try this?
For me, all my life, I've always been like, I love the camera, you know what I mean? I love the attention. So for me, it started at such a young age. My parents always said I should have a talk show when I was like 4 years old. So when I saw that we had a TV program, my sophomore year, I was like, this is what I want to do. And ever since then, it's just become a love of mine. And Mr. Pramel really gears that.
Mm-hmm. Picks out the kids who warm to the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Harrison?
Well, like Carolyn, I always grew up needing attention, you know, and I loved working with camera. I loved editing, doing that kind of field. So when it came my freshman year and I found out there was a TV club and a TV program, it was like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
So I jumped in my sophomore year, just like Carolyn, and been learning ever since. And now that now that Mr. Pramel is the head of the department, it's great to work with someone who knows what he's doing and someone who's like been in the field before, knows exactly where to take us, how to be professionals.
That makes a big difference. Big part of this program, the production elements, of course, critical to any good show. We're going to take a look at a clip of what they learn.
Good morning, Mount Olive.
Good morning, Mount Olive. Good morning, Mount Olive. Good morning, Mount Olive.
Students arrive promptly at 6:30 a.m. to ensure run-throughs are completed and the show will run smoothly. Airing promos, PSAs, interviews, sports, even entertainment segments, it can get pretty complicated in the studio. However, MOTV students are experienced and used to this pressure, thus making them able to broadcast out to over 24,000 people.
And there it is. It takes place in most studios here. That's exactly what it looks like. When you're out there on camera, did it take some getting used to the idea of here's a camera over here, camera over there, camera over there, or did it just come as second nature?
Like I said, for me, it came as second nature.
For you, we're used to it.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Growing up in the Blackburn family, you know when a camera is there because my sister's a photographer. My dad is pretty much a photographer, so you always know when a camera is there.
Okay, so it came natural for you. Was it something you had to learn, Harrison?
Some parts of it, I needed to get used to. When in our studio, it's a 3-camera setup, and knowing when to look at each camera, it can be a daunting task at times, but you get used to it. You learn the trade, you pick up on it, and you learn to love it.
You guys are in an era where we have the internet, you've got webcasts, all kinds of things that aren't geared to just regular television. What would you say to young people who want to get into this business?
I would say YouTube is your best friend because that's really where you can make yourself known, you know what I mean? Like, it's such a small, market to start yourself off in, but then once people figure you out, you're like, boom, YouTube gets so many hits every single day, so.
You could blow up tomorrow.
I could, you never know.
Well, listen, thanks to both you guys for joining us today. It's been a pleasure and good luck in your careers. Hopefully I'll be retired by the time you're trying to take my job. That'll do it for this edition of 12 in Our Schools, but here's a quick reminder. For any information on anything we discussed on today's show or a link to information on past programs, check out our website, news12.com. Just click on the features section and we'll link you up. That'll do it for this edition of 12 in Our Schools. I'm Brian Jenkins. Until next week, remember, knowledge is power.